Revelator John.
Revelators, welcome to Revelator John. Just a quick review. West Ham versus Arsenal last night at the London Stadium. Ended 0-0. Another great performance from West Ham. Another great defensive display. Fantastic in midfield, protecting the back four. All the back four were fantastic again, from Zabaleta, up and down the right side, but defending like a trooper. Reed and Bonner, heroes on the back line, and Cresswell as well, brilliant on the left side of the, more like a central defender really, but playing on that left side. Then Obiang, another solid performance again. Rode his luck a couple of times with some challenges, but was able to put some passes in as well. And Noble, what a leader. Another great performance, just seems to be getting better with age. He's had his detractors, I've been one of them. Last season he wasn't really playing well, out of form. Even this season, the early part he wasn't playing well. He showed a lot of character, being left out of the side when Moyes first took over. But he's come in and, he stepped up to the plate. And you could see the way he is in midfield, the challenges he's putting in, but the way he's pointing, he's directing, play, and he's encouraging the other players. So he's that glue in the centre that's holding it all together, and I think that's very much overlooked, by many people, or might be overlooked by a lot of people. He's also taken lots of direction from Moyes on the touchline, and then going to, moving on to the pitch and implementing it. So Moyes is, tinkering as he's going along, as the match is going along, and then Noble is kind of either being on the pitch and he's directing it from the pitch. So it's brilliant, really good. And also moving forward, Noble was great, and he put some great passes in, a chest to Arnautovic, a chest pass to Arnautovic on the edge of the box, almost led to a goal. A great, pass to Hernandez to Chicharito, and hit the crossbar. And we were under the cosh for much of the time, just as we were with Chelsea. Arsenal were all over us really, 80%. But one of the problems is, as I've said before, is that although we are having a great defensive display, and this is my ideal football, if you like, when we're coming up against better teams, or on paper better teams, and we can shut them out, we can frustrate them, we can do great defensively on the back four or whatever system you're playing, great in midfield, disrupting play, and then hitting on the counter attack. This is my ideal kind of football. I just love it. I love it when you can beat a better team at their own game, or not at their own game, but you can stifle another team, their game, with your game. Other people don't like it, but I think it's fantastic. The problem we have is this, that because we're defending so much and resolutely, we are not tending to retain possession going forward. So we have our chances, and we had a couple of flurries where we were able to retain possession, but then we're trying to make a killer pass, a forward pass, and we lose possession. I'm a great believer in fast counter-attacking football, but it's almost like we need a little bit of extra pace, extra bit of quality just on that first pass, that link play from the defence going forward. And also to support, the front attackers, whether it's Arnautovic, whether it's Antonio as well. Arnautovic had another great game, showed some flashes of brilliance. Antonio, another great workhorse performance. I think, I'm not sure that we should have started with him personally. I think we should have started with Chicharito or Osaka personally. I think with somebody really more mobile, more maybe quicker thinking football brain. That's not a slight on Antonio. I just think he's probably not 100% fit now. That being said, he had a great, a lot of praise on Antonio in the first half. Really ran the channels a bit again, a bull. Really tried to work hard up front, leading the line as well with Arnautovic. But sometimes his final ball, his pass isn't up to speed a little bit. I think in the second half he really started to fade quickly. So I think You know, Chicharito came on quite late in the game. I think we could have brought him on earlier. That's probably one of my only criticisms. Masuaku had, on the left, had a decent game. Had a couple of opportunities to dribble the ball, but didn't really get much of a chance. Ran into a couple of players. And put in a couple of half decent balls, half decent cross balls and passes. But all I would say is he had a solid game. You know, didn't make too many mistakes, but nothing as, you know, as offensively great as he was against Chelsea. But you know, again, he put in a performance, put in his duty for a good defensive display as well. So it's very good. So overall, West Ham did brilliantly. The other hand, Arsenal didn't play well at all, really. They were frustrated. You could tell they were frustrated, you know, because we had so many men behind the ball. But we were also, it wasn't that we were just sitting in the 18-yard box. We were defending high up the pitch. We were frustrating them right from, you know, Arnautovic and Antonio. They were chasing down, you know, their back line. You know, Noble, Obiang, you know, Lanzini in the centre, running around all over the place. And I will say this about Lanzini, you know, he's probably not been as effective in the last couple of matches as possibly we would like him to be, as in that playmaker role. But he is still, you know, putting in solid performances. He is getting stuck in. He is sticking to the game plan. He's hurrying, rushing down, closing down players. And when he gets the ball, he is able to, you know, try and pass and try and create it. The one thing I will say is that possibly Lanzini is not receiving the ball and moving forward and putting in a forward pass as quickly as possibly we would like. But that might all be part of the game plan, and to just retain possession and just, you know, improve the link-up play, which I agree with. That's what we're lacking. So I think, you know, we've got to look at the Lanzini role a little bit and say, okay, well, he needs to receive the ball. He needs to put his foot on the ball a little bit, make some passes, you know, advance himself, receive the ball again, and then you use that as the link-up play to then feed onto Antonio Arnautovic or Sacco, Chicharito, or Carroll, or whoever's up front for us. But also we're frustrated, and we frustrated them. You know, they were pretty much had a couple of long-range efforts. They had a couple of chances. Yeah, they hit the post. I think it was well covered by Adriano. Adriano made a good save from free kick. They were putting in crosses. Yeah, and another day, you know, they might have had some joy. Wilshere flashed over the bar, but apart from that, you know, again, it was a great defensive display. You know, we hassled them. We, you know, put them off, closed them down, made them rush their shots. And that's, you know, anytime you're playing a better team, that's how you have to appreciate. And this is like textbook tactics from Moyes, you know, and the players are responding, and they're playing for each other, they're playing for the shirt, and they're playing for the fans as well. And the fans are reacting as well, which is great to see. Okay, so overall, our performances the last 3 matches have been absolutely fantastic, and they're just getting better and better and better, I think. Okay, now, the question is, where do we go from here? So we've got Stoke, then Newcastle, then Bournemouth, then West Brom, and then in the New Year, West Brom in the New Year, and then Tottenham. And we've got a cup match, Arsenal next week as well. Okay, so here's the thing. We should still set up in a similar kind of way, in that we need to be solid at the back and the defence need to protect the midfield. But we also need to be looking to retain that possession and move forward and create better opportunities and hopefully capitalise on those opportunities from those other teams. But the other teams, they'll be around us. They've been getting some bad results, and they're going to be setting up in a similar kind of way to us. So I forecast that, although we're confident going into the next matches, against certainly against Stoke, then Newcastle, I think they're going to be really tough matches, because they're going to want something back from those matches as well. I think they're going to be tight affairs, draws, 1-2-0, 2-1 victories, that kind of thing for us. But let's not get complacent, because we could easily drop points there. We could easily lose, you know, 1-0, 2-0 as well. Again, it really depends how those teams set up and how we set up against it. I don't think that just because we're playing the so-called lesser teams, which we are kind of one at the moment because of where we're at. You know, that we should abandon what we've been doing for the last 3 games and just think, right, let's just bomb forward, because we're going to leave ourselves exposed at the back. Okay, and no matter how well our defence has been playing, if we're exposed, you know, with not enough supporting midfielders, then we're going to let goals in. So, anyway, so onwards to Saturday. To Stoke. I'm going to be positive again. I think we're going to go up there and win 2-1. I think Arnautovic is going to get a goal. I think hopefully Chicharito will score, start and score as well. So I'm very confident. But word of caution there, I think Stoke will be out for a better performance as well. But great stuff from the Hammers, great stuff from Moyes and the coaching staff, and it's looking really good at the moment. Great defensively, of course, and this is great. We're looking solid, we're looking organised, and we're looking half decent on the counter attack. We just these are building blocks. We need to start building and building and building, and I think Moyes and everybody would agree with that. We've stopped the rot. We're starting to build up now. Great defensive, solid in the back. We need to retain that and then start building on for, moving up the pitch, midfield, attacking midfield, and then on the forward line as well. Okay, so roll on Saturday. Cheers.